plein air session of 2020. It's almost the end of February now. I went for a walk earlier around my block, big block that I live on. This nature area that I painted at last time has some pretty good views. I already know what I'm painting. Sun's about to set, so I gotta, hopefully I'll be able to capture the light a little bit. So there's a bunch of houses in the distance, these big expensive houses. And they're kind of all grouped together. The scene is very horizontal. And I decided I'm gonna try that as a painting just because I want the practice of trying to simplify things, make things more interesting. There were some vertical trees, as you guys will see. I'm gonna move those around and stuff. Just try to make an interesting painting. So I felt like at the beginning of the year, first plein air adventure for 2020, I feel like I needed a challenge. So that's what I'm doing right now before the sun goes down. It kind of feels a little weird going outside to paint. Like I haven't done it since like November. It just feels very odd, kind of like I'm going out somewhere to paint. Man, I'm like really out of it, but really looking forward to doing this. So really excited. It's not the most exciting subject to paint, but there's really nothing around where I live, unfortunately. I spent a lot of time earlier on the computer looking at Google Maps. I found a ton of places elsewhere, ton of things in San Francisco to paint, so I might be doing that in the future on the weekends, going to San Francisco for a day, and we'll see what happens with that. All right, so we got some nice evening light right now. Looks really nice. I'm digging it. So I'm gonna end up probably setting up right on the side of the sidewalk here in the dirt or something. I'm losing that light quickly, so this is gonna be pretty tough. Oh man. All day I couldn't decide what to paint, and then I just decided last minute I'll give this a shot. So I don't know how it's gonna turn out. All right, so here we go. Some houses way in the distance. I want to be able to simplify that. Those pointy green trees, I want to move some of those over within the houses, create more verticals in the scene. So I don't know. I'm not really sure what to do about a lead-in into the painting. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure this out, but I'm just gonna give it a shot and see what I can create out of it. It's kind of what my plan was, or lack of plan, was just to do something challenging and try to create something out of nothing, really. The thing is, there's a lot here to work with. There's a lot of raw materials, so to speak. You know, there's a lot of grass, there's nice light, there's trees, houses, hills in the background in the distance. So I'm gonna try to move stuff around and create something interesting. Anyway, I gotta stop talking, get my stuff out, start painting before I lose this light. So let's do it. Okay, so this is the first time I've ever used this brush. This is a new brush that I recently bought, and it's just a little bit larger. I think it's like a number 16 round. So yeah, pretty cool, man. I'm excited. I was excited to use this brush, and I really like it. It turned out really well using this brush. I'm able to get bigger strokes than what I normally am used to. So just a little experiment. And I started out this painting very, very loosely. I wanted to keep, I wanted to go as loose as I could and still make it look realistic. And in the end, I mean, we'll see what happens in the end here, but I almost wish it was somewhat looser, actually. But what was tricky about this painting, and we'll see as it progresses here. So I started out painting those houses. Those are the first things that I put on, kind of that tan neutral color. And now I'm filling in a lot of foliage. So this orange kind of color, that's what was tricky for me, because the sun was going down, it's in the evening, and the light is very, very warm on these trees. And all these trees have no leaves, so it's all just branches. But when it's clumped together, you know, it gives you this brown color. But since, like I said, since it's the sun's going down, you know, really bright orange, and I noticed when I finished the painting, it almost looks like fire and like smoke or something. So yeah, it was a little interesting trying to get that softness of the foliage, or of the trees rather, not the foliage, because there is no foliage. The softness of the trees but also this time of the day just made it look like fire or something. So it almost looks like fire is enveloping these houses. So it's kind of interesting. So working in some shadows here and some suggestion of branches and stuff. So the focal point here, what I really wanted to try to capture was the light, but also the houses. That's kind of my main focus. So I wanted to have more interest around the houses, bring more attention there. And this is where I started inventing moving some trees around within these houses, as you can see what I'm putting on there. And I think that really helped bring it together, because otherwise there was no trees like that in these houses for real, like in their backyards and stuff. So it would have been very boring, very bland, with just being horizontals across the entire painting. And then putting in these windows, I might have overdone it. I don't know. It's hard to tell. I think I put just enough to give the idea of like, hey, a bunch of houses, some windows. The thing I overdid was darkening that one house right in the middle. That's something I kind of regret. I got too concerned with what was actually in front of me rather than focusing on the overall painting. And here you can see I'm starting to play around with some brighter colors for the roofs and stuff, really start making it more of a focal point. And I should have kept that one middle house lighter so that all the houses were connected as one shape. So yeah, I kind of regret darkening that one as much as I did. I mean, I think maybe slightly darkening it would have been fine, but I pushed it a little too much and it actually starts blending in with the foliage that's surrounding it. So that's one mistake I made during this painting, and I kind of knew it, and I tried to lighten it up here in a few minutes, but it just wasn't enough. And of course, this is in the evening, so I didn't have a lot of time to sit there and wait for things to dry and to be able to, do all these different layers and stuff. So I kind of just went straight for the colors and stuff that I was seeing. There's probably 2 to 3 layers on this whole painting for the most part in some areas. I'm putting some of the windows back on there on that dark house. But yeah, I think that really killed the composition, having that central house in the middle of the painting be darker. Yeah, that's unfortunate. But the rest of it I'm pretty happy with. It's a really interesting harmony that I was able to capture with I invented some of that grass on the ground there. I kind of brought that in along with the trees at the top, as I said earlier. But overall, I mean, this is a pretty good effort for my first try in 2020. I haven't done plein air in like 2 or 3 months, so this was something that was just fun and a challenge, and I went for it, and I'm pretty happy that I did. It was a pretty cool experience. Look at the incredible light now. Look at that incredible harmony. That's unreal. There's no way I could capture that right now. That's unreal, dude. All right, well, that was definitely a lot, way looser than stuff that I normally do. But look at this, that's incredible, incredible. Glad I went out and painted, man. Really glad I went out and did it. That one was a lot of fun. So I think the cool thing is, all the paintings I've been doing in the winter, in December and January, I've been doing like 7x10s and 9x12s in the studio, and I think those little bit larger paintings help me loosen up with my smaller work. So it's pretty cool, man. I'm feeling good. Feeling good about this year. And hopefully I'm gonna start painting larger soon. Once I finish this sketchbook, 4 more paintings left, and then I'm going larger for plein air. It won't be too much larger, but it'll be a little bit larger, and I think it'll just be more fun. I'll be able to make more bold strokes, loosen up a bit more. Yeah. It'll be an interesting experiment to try out for sure. So definitely looking forward to that. Beautiful sky right now, sun is setting. Moment of truth, let's take a look at it. Let's see if I completed my objectives that I set out before I started painting. I'm actually pretty happy with this one. As loose as it looks and maybe as crazy as it looks. I definitely was able to simplify the buildings. That's what I wanted to do. Some little bit of windows, probably overdid that a little too much, but I wanted to show that, okay, there's some kind of repetition here. Same kind of color roofs as well, kind of all connecting together. very soft foliage, so that's one thing I wanted to have, was soft foliage, warm light coming in here on the warm foliage. A little bit of greenery I just added. I was trying to connect at the very beginning, trying to connect some of this greenery, but it didn't really work out. Overall, it's pretty good effort. I was able to add some kind of verticals here. Probably should add a little bit more of those, but oh well. Yeah, the one thing that really bothers me, I think I darkened this building a little too much because now it kind of blends in with the foliage. I was trying to show that there was different shades of these buildings, and I think I just went overboard on this one. And it's kind of dead center almost in the composition, so not my favorite composition the way I planned that out, or I didn't really plan it. But overall, not a bad effort, something to learn from, of course, but I definitely like how loose it was, and just, it was a lot of fun. That's the main thing. It was like super fun to do this one. So yeah, in the end, man, that was pretty fun. Not like the greatest painting ever, but I really liked the color harmony. The thing that really sucked was the whole time I was painting, I just had bugs like eating me the whole time. It was just like, geez, man, I don't know what's going on. But I was able to get the painting done. Happy about that, man. Really glad I went out last minute. That was the best decision I could have made. I'm glad I did that. Anyway, I'm just rambling on about nothing, so I'm gonna leave you guys to it. Have fun with your art, do some painting and drawing. Don't get discouraged, take care of yourself, all that nonsense. Peace.